Gentlefolk, ferals, and domesticated cryptids, welcome back to another exciting episode of Wonder Bathos. This is episode number 22, or season 3, episode 2, whatever order you want to call it in. I am sitting here today with Mr. Jellybean 1241. And to give you a little bit of backstory, me and Jellybean actually work together. We work for the same company. We work in different parts of the company, but we do work together. And after we started working together, we found out that their better half, we actually knew their better half through the convention scene, through, you know, selling comics and toys at Comic-Cons and stuff. And just small world. So absolutely incredible. How are you doing today, Jellybean?
I am doing fantastic. I've been really excited to do this with you, and you know, my wife was talking to me the other day. She was picking up today she was picking up the house, and she was like, "Go set up your stuff. You've been talking about this for months. Breathe."
Yeah, no worries. Definitely relax. We fly by the seat of our pants around here. It's mostly improv.
Fair enough.
You just get better at it as you do it. So
I'm all for it.
We'll start with the basic questions.
Okay.
Usually it's a burning desire of chat, especially here on the YouTube side of things. Where did your name come from? Where did Jellybean come from?
Okay, so when I was a tiny bean, like right around the age of like anywhere from like 4 to 6 years old, in the South, football is life, and I have never been a small bean, so immediately my parents were like, "You're gonna go play football." So from the ages of like 4 to, I think I was 16, 17 when I finally stopped. I played football, and at one of my Pee Wee football practices, I wore a bright purple jersey, like bright purple, and my coach looked at me, and the only thing he could say was, "Damn, son, you just look like a big old purple jelly bean," and it has just stuck since then.
Well, thanks, Coach. It definitely
Right?
is. Definitely is a distinct name. It sets you apart. Now, I'm guessing the 1241 part of that. I mean, is there any significance to that other than the name Jellybean was probably already taken on Twitch?
Actually, so 1241 came from high school. Um, it was the last four of, I think, my school lunch number back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And it
I was
just
gonna say,
stuck.
is it like your pin number? I
No,
was
no,
like,
no, 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 no.
it's like,
Um,
all right, I need to borrow your debit card for a little bit.
so, fun
So,
fact about Jelly Bean, real quick. I tried to escape the name. I did because, I was like, okay, I'm a grown up now. I'm trying to be professional. And so I moved out of state and away from everybody. And I worked at a towing company and driving a tow truck. And I'm sitting out in the shop one day, and I was working out of Knoxville. I was sitting in the shop one day, and my boss comes in and he's like, "Hey, fellas, y'all know anybody by the name of Jellybean?" I said, because I didn't tell anybody that I moved, and I was like, "How the hell did they find?" I was like, hi." He said, "You've got a call in Knoxville. They asked for you specifically." I was like, "How did they know I was here?" So yeah, it has followed me through every stage of life.
and so your coworkers just wouldn't let it go at that point. They were like, they started calling you Jellybean after that. I mean, I would too. I totally would too. But
No, and they did. And one of my coworkers was actually my dad. He was the one who had taught me how to do all the driving stuff. And he's like, "That's funny. You are never gonna lose that one." I was like, "No."
I mean, they say that sometimes you don't get to pick your name, unfortunately, a lot of the times.
Accurate.
I got lucky, kind of. I picked my name early on to where it stuck, and I had a hand in picking it. But I stuck with it for so long that there was just no changing it. I'm forever Opto. There's no getting away from it.
Fair enough.
So, how did you find Twitch? How did you come about finding Twitch and becoming a streamer?
Okay, so those are two stories that are very closely related. Um, so when I was like 12, I was playing Magic the Gathering with a close family friend. And he's like, "So you game and that kind of thing?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you like watch YouTube videos of like people playing games and stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's is one of the things that I watch all the time right now." He's
Hold
like,
on, before you tell the rest of the story. Five Nights at Freddy's was out when you were 12.
"I think so."
I am so fucking old. Oh my god. Oh my god. And you were just a
uh,
baby. Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah.
That
Yeah, I think I
is
was in seventh grade whenever the
wow.
first one was making its roundabouts.
That is insane. I need a time machine. I'm getting too old, man. All right,
uh,
continue. Sorry, didn't mean to
no,
interrupt, but I
you're
just had
good.
to.
You're good. It broke my brain the other day too. Uh, so I was playing Magic Gathering, and he said, "Well, how would you feel about like being able to interact with these people as they play?" I was like, "I mean, that would be cool, but how?" He's like, "So this is Twitch," and he pulled up like this whole big spiel of things that he watches on Twitch.
Mm,
And I was like, "Oh, that's really neato." And so I went home, I grabbed my phone, I downloaded the Twitch app, I made all the things, which that took forever and a day to do because of all the different verifications they make you do originally.
right. Well,
um,
and still, yeah.
yeah. Um, and the reason I got into streaming was because of one of the streamers that I watched. He was very small at the time, and he's gotten huge now. Um, but I started because I didn't have a GameCube or an N64, so I was like, well, maybe I can relive Ocarina of Time. And I started watching him, and he did a full playthrough of Ocarina of Time, followed by Majora's Mask, and then we completely switched gears and went to Banjo Kazooie. And it at that moment I was like, okay, I know this is what I want to do. And since then, I have been struggling to be able to do it and to get a computer that will do it that I can call mine.
Right.
um, but uh, it's been a fantastic and yet a hard journey all at the same time. Um, and I'm glad that I have the support system that I do to make all of this happen.
Nice.
It
Yeah, you gotta set up a throne, man. Set up a throne and set up crowdfunding on whatever you need to be able to stream the stuff that you want to stream. You know,
absolutely,
you got a
absolutely.
Nintendo 64.
I do have a Nintendo 64. I just don't have a capture card, and not gonna lie, my computer probably will not run it. It struggles to run Bendy in the Ink Machine, which is one of the
Oh
games that I'm
wow,
currently playing on stream.
wow, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I am getting close to being in that club too. My computer is becoming quite outdated and having lots of issues, dropping frames and stuff, and
Yeah.
lagging, and like my graphics card is struggling to keep up. It's doing its best though. We're gonna run it into the ground until it just
Hey,
cannot go anymore.
I don't blame you. I've got a tower sitting in my closet behind me that is it was top notch gaming PC when it was bought, and now I can barely run League of Legends on it, and League takes all of like 2 gigs of RAM to run at
Right.
max quality.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
That's the unfortunate side effect of technology is it stops working after a while.
absolutely.
So now that you're in Twitch, what are your goals? Where are you going with it? Your passion. You found it through the streamer, and now you're passionate about doing it, and you're trying to save up and get the equipment to be able to run stream. Like what are your aspirations with it? Are you just trying to build a community, or like do you want to try to make it full time? Like what's going on in your brain with it?
So I would like to go full time with it. I would. And I know that that's a struggle in and of itself, is getting to that point, because, that says that, hey, I have to be able to do this consistently, and I have to be able to make, consistent, fundage from it. And that is, I'm learning, becoming harder and harder to do, especially like, because working at the towing company, I had to deal with 1099s, and I know that those can get expensive real quick, fast, and in a hurry. And so
That's
I
not the route
guess
I thought you were going to go with that, but yeah. Yeah, you're right.
no, and they scare me. They do, because like that year before I had my 1099, my return was supposed to be like $1,400 that year, and they handed me a $20 bill and said, "Here's your return." After the 1099, I was like,
Wow.
wow, okay. So it does, it scares me. um and I've tried to make sure that I consistently interact with my viewers, because I don't want to get big and forget that that community is still there. And some of my friends that I personally hang out with are still there. And I've noticed that a lot of big people, because they're so big, they don't get the opportunity to have that one-on-one connection. And so
I mean,
I
that is true. When chat starts flying, like you have to pick and
yes.
choose your comments that you read and stuff like that, and you do kind of lose touch a little bit. I have not had that.
I haven't had that yet, other than for a slight moment while I was playing Choo Choo Charles, and I peaked out at, I think it was 24 viewers for like 14 seconds, and it was just moving, and I was like, "What do I do?"
There's a slow mode. There's a slow mode option to put your chat in slow mode, to where it'll
I didn't
slow
do
down
that.
your chat. Yeah, yeah, no, there's tools for it and stuff. But even in slow mode, like if you have 1,000 people in chat and chat is scrolling super fast, it still makes it really hard to read and keep up with everything. But then once you get that big to that point, you it becomes a self-moving autonomous thing. You are the center. You're always the center of attention, but like you said, you kind of lose that one-on-one interaction, and it just becomes like the entire event, and everybody's kind of carrying it with chat.
Mm.
um I don't know. I will say, you said that it's becoming harder. It is becoming harder for people to do it, but honestly, it's always been super difficult. And the biggest part
Right.
of it is, I watched an interview with Bo Burnham today, on Conan. He was on Conan, and he's like, Conan asked him like, what kind of inspirational words can you give for people, and he's like, there's not really. I can't remember what he said. He made a joke out of it, but it was like really brutal. It was like, really, there's nothing you can do to make it happen. Like, it's a lot of luck, like you can work hard at it, and like all these artistic and talented people are out there every day putting their stuff out on the internet, and like just not getting any viewability or getting seen at all, because it's like, you have to be super lucky to have something catch fire and go viral,
Absolutely.
or to get a huge crowd in there. So at that point, I don't know. My best advice is, if you want to do it, don't let anybody tell you can't, and go for it. But I mean, that getting that fire to spark is super super difficult. I would say,
Absolutely.
make your goals small. Like right now, like build up your equipment. Get
Hmm.
your start working on getting the equipment you need to be able to put on the streams that you want to put on, and definitely just focus on your community and building your community. Keep those
Absolutely.
people, that you are carrying you now close to you, that are in chat and hanging out and stuff, because really that's what it's all about. This, for me, the podcast, this isn't to try and blow up and go viral from. This is just like my love letter to my friends. I often say, like, I wish I had more time in the day, or like, oh man, we should totally hang out soon, and then like never make plans. This is my way of like making plans with my friends and bonding with my friends a little bit, and like trying to help lift them up a little bit. So
Absolutely. I was going to say that's one of the things that we struggle with right now.
yeah, yeah, it's tough. And I mean, and we work together.
Yeah, right.
I have IRL friends that I haven't seen in like half a decade, and as soon as we do hang out, it's like we pick up like we never, like there was never any time left with. How am I trying to phrase that? You know what I'm trying to say, but
Yeah, like the distance was never there.
yeah. We pick up right where we left off. That's what I was trying to say.
There it is.
But there's like 5 years in between, and like multiple kids now, and like life is crazy, and it starts. The older you get, the faster it moves. It's
Right.
a very strange, kind of melancholy thing. It's weird. You just make the best of it, and keep on doing the things that you enjoy and that bring joy to your life and bring you happiness.
Absolutely, and that's all we can do at this point.
But I love that mentality because I've been there. I want to be a streamer and I want to go full time. I felt that. I've been that before, and I did. I went full time for a year. I went and did it, and I gave it my best shot, and it didn't work out. But I can still say that I fucking did it. I went for it. And I put my best foot in, and I'm so happy that I had the opportunity. And didn't crash and burn from it. Like
Right. And that I wish that I had the courage to do that. It like I said, it scares me so much.
It should.
Because
It is the scary thing, and it is very stressful. It is because it honestly, my biggest takeaways from it were it took away from me the things that I loved about streaming in the beginning. When I first started streaming, I had no expectations. I just wanted to do it. And then like as things got better and I started making the kind of money from it that was like, oh shit, we're about to put like a down payment on a house because we're making this much money every month from it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna be smart about it. Well, I'm gonna wait 6 months, and if my numbers stay the same for 6 months, I'm still pulling in, a paycheck from this every month, then I will go full time. And after 6 months, and every month I waited, I was like, they're gonna go down this month. My numbers are gonna go down this month. My numbers are gonna go down, and they didn't. And after 6 months, I was like, you know what? That's it. Let's do it. Let's fucking go full time. And then we did it, and immediately, like the moment I went full time streaming, it just very small decline, and it just kept going down and down and down, and like now,
it's baffling.
Yeah, the internet, you can do nothing wrong. You can literally do nothing wrong and still keep doing the same thing that got you to that point. And just the internet, it just works that way, man. One day it's there, and then the next day it's not. And that's just being a content creator. That's why you see these YouTubers that are just every video they're putting out, they're trying to do the next big thing. And I see big YouTubers now, some of them that were huge months ago, they're like trying to branch off, and like that's the other part of it where you want to express your different sides of your creativity, right? So like perfect example, and I'm going to put him out there because I love him to death. Joel Haver. If you've ever seen Joel Haver's videos, that dude is incredible. I love his videos so much. He is so funny, and he got to the point where he was getting millions of views on his YouTube videos, and so he kind of started splitting off and doing like these other videos that are like still his humor, but it's different from what he got big for. And now, his views are like a quarter of what they used to be. I'm sure in the YouTube land, that's probably still enough for him to like make his rent and stuff. So like good for him, that he can do that. But it still sucks seeing him go from like the top of the mountain, like, and start descaling, because he's just trying to explore different creative avenues,
Right.
The internet is wild.
You ain't never lied there, bud.
So the other advice to that is make sure that it's there before you take the chance. I waited 6 months, and I still feel like I didn't wait long enough before I made the decision to go full time. I feel like I should have waited longer than that, but I made a promise to myself, and I went for it. you know. So
Yeah.
the other side of that is join other communities, you know, spend as much time as you can in other communities and meeting other people, and not to just shill your own wares, you know, because that is like the worst thing anybody can do. Like, go actually like meet people, spend time supporting them, hanging out, talking in other people's chats, because that will build relationships with other people online. And like, we have friends in Scotland now, we have friends in the UK, Canada.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
we have friends all over the world. It's awesome. All thanks to Twitch. Twitch
Hey.
has changed my life.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So what kind of go ahead.
Just I'm looking at it, you know, and your friend group is international at this point, and I'm like, man, I got a few people in Florida.
Few people in Florida. I mean, that's
Yeah.
still far away from here, you know.
It's
and
somewhere
like,
to start.
yeah, that's a good building block, you know. Having friends nearby is good too, you know. Like, when I was at my heaviest in the Super Mario Maker community, you know, like, we met a couple people here in Arkansas because they were Super Mario Maker streamers, and there weren't a whole lot of people from Arkansas that were playing Super Mario Maker.
Fair enough.
And so it was cool, you know.
That's really neato.
Yeah, look for people with similar interests and stuff. So what other games are you looking to stream? Like, what else are you streaming now? And then, like, what are some games that you want to stream that you don't have the capability to do yet?
So, as of right now, the biggest things that I've been streaming is League of Legends, because, like I said, it's very low. Like,
Doesn't take a whole lot of resources.
right? That low resource. That's the word. You know, and I'm terrible at the game, and so, you know, part of that humor is, oh, I died again. Woo! And then
You should try Dark Souls. Woo, I died again.
You know, so when I lived in Tennessee, I tried Dark Souls on the PS4, and it was Dark Souls 3, I think it was. And because my brother, he's huge on it. And I tried Dark Souls 3, and I didn't even get to the first boss, man. Like, died, I think it was 12 times before I finally just said, okay, we're set this down. I'm done for a minute. Because I couldn't figure out how to roll. I couldn't figure out how to get the rolls correctly.
Oh, wow.
And so I kept rolling into attacks.
That is the one. Like, Dark Souls, they make you look really hard for the instructions. Tutorials are not given freely. You have to they will give you a couple of basics, like, real quick right in the beginning, and then from there you have to figure everything else on your own. And it does tell you in a lot of spaces, but you got to find it. And, like, that's one of the difficulties of the game, is, like, learning how to play the game, you know.
Right.
But it is just, when you finally do beat one of those bosses, just that sense of accomplishment. There's nothing else like it in the world. And everybody who has played Dark Souls will tell you, nothing compares to the first time playing the game. Even though it's the most frustrating, the most daunting task, everybody that's played the first one and then the second and third one always says, you know, I love the series, I love all the games, but I wish I could go back and replay the first one for the first time again and experience, like, that. I don't know, that's just a sense of catharsis, like, this heartache and from the struggle and putting all this time into learning the mechanics of the game, and then you finally get it and you're like, wow, I get it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I get it now.
Funnily enough, that same, like, you know, I want to do it for the first time again. That's how I feel about Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Right.
It was the first video game that I ever played, and it was the first video game I ever beat, and I did it with my mother. And so it's something that we've always kind of clicked on.
Right.
And
that just shows how much fucking older that I am than you, because me and my mom, same way, but it was the original Zelda for Nintendo.
Fair enough.
Leave the console on for days at a time because you can't save. Like,
I could make you cry. I could make you cry. It was the GameCube rendition and not the N64 rendition.
That's not. I mean, that's not gonna make me cry. I got a copy of the Master Quest. Okay, I've got it on GameCube. I get it.
Hey.
I get it. It's awesome.
Uh,
The game is the game is the game. You know, it doesn't matter what
right.
console you're playing it on. I saw a really interesting thing on that. Not to segue too far, but
You're good.
I saw a thing on Twitter today where like a big streamer was like, I'm so tired of seeing people hate on people for like what console they play stuff on, and like really powerful mental health awareness message. I feel that like it doesn't matter what medium. Who cares if PlayStation's better than Xbox or PC is better than whatever, dude? It doesn't matter if you're playing the game and you're enjoying it, and also how you play the game. It doesn't matter if you use mods or like however you enjoy the game. At least you're enjoying the game. You know what I mean?
And
like that's it.
absolutely, absolutely, and I think more people should take to that message.
They do.
Is
They should. I mean,
yeah, it. It's something that I've struggled with for a while. Is I want the next best thing, but I still miss my GameCube, and
yeah,
I catch flack for it all the time, especially growing up and going through high school and stuff. People ask, what the hell's a GameCube? It's an older system that I still enjoy, but the
right.
graphics, that doesn't matter. It's the game itself.
Yeah, if you enjoy the game and you enjoy I mean, most of what I do is like retro style stuff. Mario, play a lot of Mario, and they just took assets from the old games and they rearrange it, to where people can make their own, and that's what's so incredible.
So cool.
Yeah.
It is so cool.
That's the future. I think that's like the next wave of gaming, right? So for the longest time you've had like your AAA titles, right? Newest console, newest game, pushing the boundaries of like graphic limitations and stuff, and like that was the shit. That's where everybody's going. Everybody wants the new console and the new game. Well, like I feel like games are starting to split, and on one side you have like the next big thing, which is like VR stuff. I still feel like there's so many bugs and so many kinks in like virtual reality and stuff, but they're still making improvements to it, and it's going to keep on growing, and it's going to become like this incredible experience that's unlike just playing a console game, and it's going to be its own thing. And I have this theory that Fortnite, because for multiple reasons, and I think that Fortnite is going to break down the VR barrier, and Fortnite is going to create like the actual Ready Player One, essentially.
You think so?
Well, multiple reasons. One, they have all the fucking money in the world. They have all of it, right? They have all these kids spending all their parents' money every month on new characters and stuff like that. And my next point is it leads into the characters. They already have the licensing and all these contacts for all these pop culture characters in every medium, dude. You're talking Dragon Ball Z, Star Wars, literally everything they have got their hands on. So in a Ready Player One type situation, they've already got the know-how and the ability to put these characters in there. So you can have the Iron Giant fight Goku and a Mandalorian at the same time.
Right.
Like they can do that. And I bet they haven't said anything about it, but I guarantee you their R&D is already working on the virtual reality stuff, because like that's the next step. Fortnite has evolved. They have not stayed stagnant. They said, look, we have our base platform and we're making all this money off of, just the same battle royale over and over and over again. And they are saying, fuck that. We're going to take a game that's already done, it's completed, and we're going to keep building and evolve on that, and just keep opening it up and adding more stuff and new maps. And now there's a creative mode and like all that shit. Yeah. I absolutely think that Fortnite is going to be the head of like the first Ready Player One type scenario for that. And then with video games splitting down the other path, you have your diehards and your retro nerds that love retro gaming. I think Nintendo will eventually finally get their head out of their ass and just be like, okay, well, we're going to open it up somehow to where people can build not just Mario Maker, where you can build Mario levels. How about Metroid Maker, where you can make Metroid levels, or cool. Mega Man Maker, where you can make Mega Man levels, or Zelda, or whatever,
that would be cool.
they still own the rights and the IP to this stuff. They're just releasing the assets for people to create new games out of beloved characters and mechanics that people love, you know? And so, like, I think we're going to have, like, this trifecta of, like, 3 different paths that gaming is going. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see what happens next.
Honestly, that would be really neato to see Nintendo do that. I think we're a long ways from that, especially with, you know, a lot of the drama that's been going on, you know, in the streaming and in the, you know, recording world with Nintendo. Because they make buku bucks, but they don't like people making buku bucks off of their buku bucks.
They lose buku bucks too, though. I mean,
that's fair.
They're just leaving money off the table. Like Ocarina of Time. Why haven't we gotten a remake of Ocarina? They remade Link's Awakening and it did phenomenal. They did so well with that. Why not Ocarina? You know, they're accepting the Switch. You can get PlayStation ports on Nintendo. You can play Final Fantasy VII on Nintendo. Like Final Fantasy VIII on Nintendo. Why, if they're going to those lengths to make money, why not? Like, give people what they want, you know. There's no excuse for it.
You are 100% correct.
They're just being stubborn. Give us a Legend of Zelda Netflix series. Give us a 6-episode, like
truth. Say it a little bit louder for the people in the back.
Give us a Legend of Zelda Netflix series. They were talking about it. They were in talks. And then it got shut down, and that was years ago now. And the Mario movie just exploded, dude. The Mario movie was awesome. So Nintendo is starting to feel a little bit more confident about making TV shows and movies and stuff again.
Right.
You know, they put the right people in place. You know, put people that are gonna do the series justice and do it for the love of the characters and stuff like that. You know, I could rant about this all night. I could literally just keep going on Nintendo and stuff. So GameCube, what games were you playing on GameCube aside from Ocarina?
So I played Ocarina and Majora's Mask. Those you kind of have to play back to back just because it makes sense.
Right.
And then at first, all I had, because I had the collector's edition discs that had Ocarina, Majora's Mask, Zelda 1 and 2 ports, and then it
Master
had
Quest.
a demo. Yeah, it had the Master Quest. And it had a demo for Wind Waker.
That's right. That's right. You're right.
And I played the demo and absolutely loved it, and I begged my parents for almost 2 years to get me the actual game for it, and I beat it that same night.
Wow.
And then one of the ones that we played a lot, because we had a projector that we would hook up to the GameCube and put it on the wall, and it was Mario Kart Double Dash. That one was a lot of fun because the mechanics were janky but awesome at the same time.
Double Dash is one of the best Mario Karts. I love that one.
It was really fun. And my mom was actually talking to me the other day. She's like, what was that Mario game we played all the time? I was like, when? Which one? She said, the one where you flip around in the seats and you do you swap who's driving. I was like, Double Dash.
Awesome.
She found a copy of it. I think it was at a GameStop online, and it was like freaking. I think it was like $65 for a GameCube copy of it, and I was like, "Goodness gravy!"
Another reason Nintendo doesn't like fun and they don't want to remake stuff is because I guess they're still making money on games from systems that have not been like their current system for many, many, many years.
And I guess on one hand, I can't fault them for that because I get it, you know, make your money, boo. But at the same time, like, if you know you still have a fan base here, why not expand on that in a more modern way?
Right, like they're keeping games from people that haven't played it yet. You know?
Right.
Like somebody comes out and some kid has a Switch and plays Breath of the Wild for the first time. Absolutely loves it. You know, there's 40 other Zelda games. They want to check out the rest of the franchise, the rest of the series. They shouldn't have to pay $60 a game to be able to do that.
No.
Like, why are you gatekeeping your own shit? Let people enjoy your games, and especially like
Absolutely.
older games. Like, I get it, I understand. Like, hey, even though like the GameCube version of Wind Waker hasn't been like a super sought after game for years and years. But
Yeah.
why charge $60 for it still? You should be
Mhm.
giving it away at that point. That
Yeah.
$60 is not going to make or break Nintendo. You know what I mean?
No.
Let's just, even annually, if you get 100 people per state, you're still talking like maybe $50,000. That's not going to
Right.
make or break Nintendo. They could give it away, draw a lot more people into the franchise, and get a lot more love for the franchise from people that just want to play the old entries and stuff,
Yeah.
instead of being greedy about it.
Mhm.
It's insane.
You brought up a question, or you brought up something earlier about the split between the types of gamers and stuff, and like
Right.
Fortnite. You said it would be the what you think will be the intro to the Ready Player One
Ready
aspect
Player
of
One,
things.
yeah.
I've had this debate with my wife quite often, but if full dive VR technology came around, would you do it?
I don't think I understand what full dive VR
So
technology is. Explain this to me. Break it down.
kind of like Ready Player One. Before Ready Player One came out, uh, they dived into it a lot in an anime called Sword Art Online, where you put the helmet on and
Oh yeah.
you like you're lifeless, but your consciousness is in the game.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would love to do that. That sounds amazing. I fear that a lot of people's, like, I don't know, it would probably destroy their lives outside of the game because they would just want to be in the game all the time. Plus, like, your body would just become so sedentary. You'd get out of the game and you wouldn't even be able to like stand up and stuff. And I think if they figured out a way to do it healthily, yes, absolutely, I would 100% want to try that, and be a part of that. But also, I mean, even what if they just made it for like when you die, instead of
That
like
would be cool.
like, hey, we have this thing, but just because of like humanitarian, not, I don't want to say humanitarian, but like morality laws,
Yeah.
until you're like old enough, you got to be like 70 or 80, but then hey, we can put your consciousness in this machine and you just live in this machine forever, and leave your body behind. Hell
We've
yeah.
achieved immortality.
I would do that. There's a show on Amazon called Upload, and it's made by the dude that made The Office, and like it is so spot on to what I think like it could possibly be like,
Yeah.
because like they just have all these like little VR worlds, and like when you die in the real world, they put your consciousness in the VR world, and like I don't know. It's incredible. You can still talk and communicate and hang out with people in the real world. So like you're still there.
That's
And
really
and if you're rich enough, you can clone a new body and have your consciousness put back into a real body.
Oh snap!
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Bezos would never die.
Yeah. That's if we make it that long,
Right.
Like, the economy is crumbling, like there's a lot of fucked up stuff happening in the world right now. Some big changes are coming. They have to, but it's going to get worse before it gets better.
You, yeah, yeah.
And the optimist in me has to believe that it's going to get better, like, otherwise what's the point,
Fair enough.
Things have to get better, and I think that we've been so sedentary just as a society for so long. Like, what are we even doing as a human race? Like, are we still just trying to survive? Like, is that it, or are we trying to like go out to the stars and go colonize other planets and explore and see what's out there? And like, I think the only way that's possible is if everybody comes together. We need to be like united as a people that are not driven by religion or greed or capitalism or whatever, dude. Like, some things need to end, and I think
100%.
some of those things are going to be forced upon people because capitalism, these companies, man, they have all the money.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's broke and these companies have all the money. So like what happens? What are they going to do now, you know?
I sign a piece of paper that says such and such company owns me. That's what's coming.
I don't think so. Like I think I mean based on our laws, you know, you can't, that's prostitution, buddy. Like you can't just sell your body. Like
I mean, I suppose that's fair, but with all of the stuff, like in like in our industry, and with where we work, tobacco and all that kind of stuff, they're constantly pushing and getting laws changed in order to get you know stuff that I carry shoved out of my shop.
right.
So I wouldn't put it past a company to get to that point. Honest,
I mean, they'd have to get everybody. I mean, they'd have to get enough votes and get people to vote on it. But even then, dude, what are they gonna do with a bunch of kidneys? You know, like what? Like what can you do with that? You know, there's no point. There's no point. Money doesn't matter. You know, money is necessary to survive. But beyond that, like these billionaires and stuff, they're always so fucking sad and depressed. And it's like
Mhm.
you're crying yourself to sleep on $1 billion yacht, and you want to know why? It's because your life is empty. like,
Mhm.
like your life is empty. The money doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. You know, like
Mhm.
people around you mean something. Like your friends and loved ones, they mean something. You know, touching people's lives in a good way means something. You know, like I am a firm believer that um like that's legacy. Like that's not building a golden tower that extends to the sky. Like having people that are gonna like love you and miss you when you're gone. Like that's what life's all about. you
Right.
know
And I agree. I agree 100%. It's just growing up and dealing with all of the not just personal trauma, but like the global trauma that we've had to deal with.
yeah,
I've started to realize that a lot of our generation is just numb at this point.
they
You
are.
know, it
they,
and
they definitely are. People are assholes, man. I mean, it happens every day. That's why like it doesn't do any good to ignore the fact that it's there, but like trying to combat it too. And I'm right because my voice is louder. Like that doesn't. Again, it doesn't do anything. Then somebody else
Mhm.
is going to come along with a louder voice and a louder voice, and so on and so forth. I feel like really the only way that change is able to happen is to show people that there's a better way. And the only way to do
Mhm.
that is to show people love. Um,
100%.
and some people are stubborn, and a lot of people will not change. They will never change. It is always going to be a constant battle. But I think that eventually something will happen. I hate to bring up 9/11, but like right after 9/11, nobody gave a fuck about anything else but coming together as one people because
Absolutely.
to fight a common enemy. And I really feel like that that's unavoidable. Something will happen that is awful, but it will pull everybody together to work for the greater good. And everybody's going to be like, you know what? Everything I was pissed off about yesterday is so stupid and trivial. And we are all the same. We are all the same. We all should be working
Absolutely.
together. And maybe fucking aliens invade or something, and we have to all fight off an alien invasion, and then the human race is like, okay, well, like let's all work together now.
Right.
uh,
One can hope.
I mean, it might not be that. It might be another pandemic. It might
Mhm.
be like disease. It might be some sort of global drought or like food crisis or water crisis or something like that. And there's going to be a lot of bad that happens because there's going to be riots and people fighting, and people are gonna get hurt, and it's gonna suck. But I think after that, I think people are gonna be like, shit, we all need to work together. We're much stronger together than we are apart and fighting and tearing at each other's throats.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And when that day comes, I know that the world will be a better place because of it. It's just it I worry about the impact that it's going to hold on, the people caught in the middle of that transition,
Yeah, same.
and whether it will, just become a repeating cycle. I hope not. God, I hope not. But, because change is always something difficult and it hits everybody differently.
Sure does.
Hmm.
It sure does. Well, this has been a lot of fun talking about the apocalypse.
Right?
I was like, do we want to switch gears here?
Yeah. Let's get to something a little more, entertaining and not, for lack of a better term, sad.
Yeah, I mean it's not sad. I mean I feel like talking about real world stuff again it's important. It's important to talk about these things and like where we think the world is headed and like how we think that the world can be improved on. It sucks that there's not a whole lot of open-mindedness in the world, especially when it comes to politics and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you have these fucking 80-year-old people in Congress, and then like them saying that they know a better way, they know the way that things should be, blah 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 blah, when they have millions of angry people screaming at them for something different, and it's like, that's so stupid. It's like, just clean the hair out of your ears and
Right?
fucking listen, have an open
A better
mind.
way, but it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. It led to this. Like, let's try something different. Like, let's try to make everybody happy, you see that video of Kid Rock shooting up those Bud Light cans?
I did. I did, and I giggled. I
Yeah.
giggled for multiple reasons. One, because it's Kid Rock, and I heard a joke about Kid Rock. If you were willing to divulge me for just a moment, and it
Yes.
hit close to home.
Let's hear it.
Um, and I only know this because of my family and like where my family comes from. It felt accurate, and I felt attacked. Kid Rock makes music for those who know exactly how much Sudafed you can get out of a catalytic converter.
Wow. Wow.
It's like, I
My
don't like
God.
that. You just described half of my family. Go away.
Wow. I mean, half of the country. Shit.
Accurate.
Ugh. Yeah, that's a problem too. Drugs, man. Drugs are a problem.
Yeah.
Just make weed legal, less people will turn to methamphetamine. Like,
Accurate.
God. It is terrible out there. But also, yeah, then you got people like Kid Rock who shoot up Bud Light cans, and that caught on like wildfire. Now every other idiot is coming out and like, dude, you keep buying Bud Light's cans. You guys are terrible at boycotting things. Like, and over something so stupid, just let people be people, man. Let them be whoever they want to be. They're all people. They are not trying to do. They just want to live their lives how they want to live their lives. They're not trying to harm anybody or do anything. You guys are turning it violent.
Absolutely. And like that's always been my big question is, like, sure, you're against these things. Cool. But what are they doing to you? Like,
Exactly.
why does it matter? Why do you care?
Exactly. I could go down a lot of different roads. I'm trying to avoid the religion route because
I'm okay with that.
yeah, I'm done. I'm done talking about that spiel for now.
That's good.
I'm sure it will come.
That's
I'm
all
sure
good.
it will come back up, but that is also a thing that's wrong with politics in this country. They need to pull like the fucking founding fathers. You want to talk about the Constitution? Well, they explicitly said that they wanted to keep church and state separate, and you guys are doing everything you can to bring the church back into the state, and it's like, knock that shit off.
Knock it off. Leave it be.
Because most of those people
fucked up.
Most of those people don't even understand religion. I saw a thing the other day. It was an interview with a Muslim man. He was talking about the origin of the Bible and stuff, and he was like, if you look in the original scriptures or whatever, like the word they use for God is like synonymous. Like, it's the same word that the Muslims, the Jewish, and God, I can't think. or maybe he was talking about the language. It was like Aramaic, Arabic, and then one other language, and it's all the same word. And it's like you guys have been for so long fighting against each other, but like the word is written in 3 different languages, and it's the same word. Like all of you are brothers. Like everybody should not be fighting against each other, and like religions should not be fighting. Like everybody should be working together. I'm like, holy shit! Like it's so crazy how this is like very basic, simple stuff that nobody seems to fucking understand, you know.
And it's right there.
It's right there, but no, because of just years and years of violence and bloodshed and like I'm right, you're wrong type mentality. It's fucking stupid, man. And again, I think that we were talking about the apocalypse earlier. Sorry to circle back around, but I feel like that is kind of a big factor too, man. Is trying because like people should have faith if they want to. They should be free to have faith in whatever they want to have faith in. With the internet and stuff now, there's no need to keep pouring money into it. You know what I mean? Like God doesn't want your money. He just wants you to follow his rules, you know?
Right.
Like tithing is literally to keep places of work, to build giant monoliths full of golden statues in the name of the Lord. And yeah, kind of feel like it says something in the Bible about that. Maybe in the commandments. Yeah.
You know what? I think you might be right, but it's been a minute since I've touched on that.
Yeah. And so like I just, you know, there's no excuse. People from all over the world can get together on the internet and not have to spend extra money. You know, like people can use that money to do good in other people's lives if they wish to. People can use that money to do good in their own lives if they wish to, but we can stop giving it to the church to fight crimes that are non-existent. You know, we're funding religion and politics and oh God, it's all right. My rant's over. My rant's done.
Heard.
Done.
Heard.
Done. Let's talk about something happy. Heard any special, like, you had something about Dr. Kevorkian? I don't know. We could talk about Ted Bundy. Something happier. God damn it.
Ted Bundy is happier. All right.
Than what I'm talking about? Yes, it is. At least that guy, like, oh God.
He enjoyed himself. There we go.
No.
Okay, but like on a real note, for half a second, let's dive into Ted Bundy. There's been so much of this stuff on the media that I have, to be honest, been so busy with just life in general. I'm about to commit a sin.
Nope, do it.
I have no idea who the hell Ted Bundy is. Not a clue.
He's a serial killer. He's a really bad dude. He is not a good person. He like grew up like kind of they say mentally ill, but like he would like start off like killing animals and stuff in the neighborhood and like experimenting on their bodies and stuff, and then like he started killing a bunch of people, and like to the point where like his apartment reeked of dead bodies and stuff, and it took forever for the police to actually do anything about it. Like
kind of like Dahmer and shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I think. Right. I don't know much about serial killers. We watch a lot of the dramatizations, but I don't retain much of that information because I just don't care.
Right.
I was gonna say something about just the serial killer thing in general. Like TV romanticizes serial killers, and people love it. Like people love like really grim, dark shit because I think it makes their lives feel so much better and happier. But I also do feel like they can have a psychological effect on people. Like we should not be romanticizing serial killers. Like everybody wants to point to like video games being too violent and stuff, and it's like, well, fucking Netflix keeps making people fall in love with serial killers.
Like, all right, like have you watched TV recently?
Dude. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's important to remember like awful things in history so we are not doomed to repeat it. But there is a line, you know, and like romanticizing the shit can, I think, have some sort of negative impact. You know, you start desensitizing people to it. You know, I remember really grim, really dark. I remember being a teenager when like And this is way before your time, man. Like Kazaa and like LimeWire and like where you could go pirate and download songs and videos and stuff. And I remember being so curious and like looking up like Faces of Death videos and stuff, and like videos of people dying and
Fair
getting
enough.
killed and stuff. And like now as an adult, like it makes me so fucking sick to my stomach. Like not only thinking about younger me, like going and looking that stuff up out of morbid curiosity. Like I understand, like I was a kid and I'd never seen anything like that, and I wanted to see it for myself. But like a couple years ago, like there was a video on Facebook going around of some girl being beheaded in like Brazil or something. I think it was a like a gang related thing, and they beheaded this girl. And like I don't know why, but I clicked the play button, and the moment that it started happening, I was just like, I can't, dude, I can't. I refuse to because you know bad shit happens in the world, but I don't want it in my face, because I feel like that brings me just that much closer to something like that happening like around me. And now here we are in the year of our Lord 2023, and there have been 190 mass shootings in the United States, and it is May, not even the end of May.
Yeah.
It is still the beginning of May, and there's been 190 mass shootings. I don't want to put my kid in public school. Like I just right now, I'm not gonna. I can't. I
Fair
cannot
enough.
like risk my child getting killed to learn like Common Core math. Like it's not worth it.
Right.
You know? Like there a lot of change needs to happen.
Well, and on that same aspect of like, all the mass shootings and that kind of thing, I will be the first to admit that, I enjoy guns. I am what people would call a gun nut, that kind of thing. I'm all for it. But honestly, it is the safety of people in general. Snag them. I don't care at this point. I
Right.
used to be that whole gung ho, oh, you can take my guns over my dead body,
Right.
and now it's just like, how come somebody like me who is willing to, yeah, I was that guy,
Right.
and like all the time I had at least, I think 4 firearms on me throughout the day, and now, just because of all of the bullshit that I'm seeing, and it's not. I,
I
I'm
think
trying to figure out how to phrase this.
I mean, no, I agree with you 100%. I really think that I think most gun owners, if it came down to it, I think if everybody was like, all right, cool, no, you guys are right, shit's fucked up, like, here's our guns, I don't think a whole lot of people are going to fight it. You are going to have a couple Alamos here and there where people are like, I'm not giving up my guns, blah, 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 and I do fear the other side of that too. Like there are fears that, okay, well, now that every person in the United States has given up their guns, like the government has full control, the military has full control, there's nothing we can do to revolutionize or revolt or do any of that stuff at that point, because now the government has all the guns, and I almost, not to throw like conspiracy theories out there, but like, is it so far-fetched that the government is a part of some of the, maybe trying to incite some of these mass shootings to get to that point where they can trick us into just being like, hey, here's the guns, and that could be possible. But if it keeps mass shootings from happening, like, I'm all for it, dude. Here, fucking take the guns, like if it makes a safer country.
Right. And me and my wife were talking about that the other day. Like, I understand the fear, but at this point, the pure numbers themselves outweigh that for me. Like, we got to talking about like Australia and that kind of thing. Australia's had a gun ban for years now. And
1994, I think, or yeah, 94.
yeah, before that, they look like us right now.
Yeah,
With
sure
all
did.
the mass shootings and all of the bullshit that was going on over there.
And you know what? They have not had a single mass shooting since then. And on top of that, they have started lightening up on the gun laws. Like I think you can own guns over there now. Like not semi-automatic rifles. You can't own an AR-15, but you can have like regular rifles for hunting and stuff.
Right.
You know, like they have started relaxing on stuff like that, and they still have had no problems. Again, if they work together as a single unit, you know, there's so many things that we can learn from other countries that America just will not adopt. You know, public transportation is a big thing. You want to talk about people not wanting to go to work and our country fucking sucking, like, okay, give us public transportation that's reliable, you know.
I'm one of those people that need that.
Yeah, for real, dude. That was the first thing I noticed when I was 16 years old. I spent a month over in Germany, and the first thing I noticed was their public transportation is so wonderful. You can spend $6 or €6, so it was like $8 at the time. $8, and you can ride the train all day, all the way through France, Italy, up to Amsterdam for like $8. And like, it's not like a shitty little, like, it's a really nice train with nice seating, and like everything is super cool. Like they take care of their people out there. They have the Autobahn. You can drive 200 miles an hour on the Autobahn, but you know what else they have? They require 6 months of classes. Like, you have to take 6 months of classes to get your driver's license, and if you want to drive a motorcycle, you have to take a year's worth of classes. But they have far less accidents. There is no DUI law. Like, if you get caught one time with any amount of alcohol in your system while you're behind the wheel of a vehicle, they take away your license forever. But you know what? For $8, you can ride the train through 3 different countries. You know, and there are stops everywhere. Like, the public transportation is awesome. Japan, to ride their public transportation, you don't even have to have money. You can go pick up litter, and they have machines where you feed litter, plastic bottles, and like trash into, and it gives you credits to ride the public transportation.
Right.
And it helps clean up the environment too. Like, there are so many progressive things we can learn from other countries, and America is just like, nope, oil and gas.
America.
Yep. Elon says we're all going to be driving Teslas, or at least some sort of electric hybrid car by 2028, I think.
I don't see it.
You don't think so?
No.
I think we will, just because I feel like that the future is going to come whether you want it to or not, you know. So if you can keep using your brick Nokia phone, or you can upgrade and get a Motorola Razr and have a flip phone and be cool, you know, like that's how it was. That's how it was back in the day. Like, shit evolves. You're gonna have your diehards. People out there are still gonna have Hummers that you can't drive.
Right. H1s. The big one.
Yep. People are still gonna own those because they want to own them, but they're gonna be luxury items. I mean, they already are luxury items, but they'll be like even more luxury items at that point.
That's kind of where my brain is at whenever, you know, I say I don't see it, is, you know, especially, you know, down here in the South, you ain't nothing if you ain't got a truck now.
Right.
And, you know, I think that is still going to, you know, be the thought process down here.
You know what kills me about that, though, is the people that are fucking assholes that own giant jacked up pickup trucks don't use that shit for work. The people that use their trucks for work and actually utilize their truck are like super cool, nice people. Aren't gonna run up on you doing 100 miles an hour when there's 2 open lanes of traffic. Like, they're cool. You know, it's always the fucking Chad bros with like the jacked up trucks that don't use it for work, that just
that they probably didn't even buy.
Yeah, that they probably didn't even buy, that are just assholes. And it's like, man, I don't know, that totally different conversation.
No, yep. and I ain't even gonna lie to you, I agree with you. I've seen it, been there, done that. No.
Yep. Welcome to the South. Anyway, we are past the hour mark.
Oh shit.
There is one more thing we have to do before we end this episode.
Okay.
So at the end of every episode, I like to spring this on my guests. I am going to put you on a podium in front of 1 million people. Okay. And you are going to get your chance to say something to these 1 million people. And in previous episodes, first of all, there's no wrong answer. You can say whatever you want. And some people in the past have used it to spread mental health awareness. Some people have just used it to say be kind to people. Some people have used it to promote their own stream and promote their channel, if given the chance. And my favorite, which I say this every episode, my favorite was one episode. A good friend of mine, Niku Senpai, just said "mommy milkers," and that was my favorite so far. So
that actually came up on my Facebook feed the other day.
There is no wrong answer. You can say whatever you want, but this is your chance. If you were given a platform to say something to 1 million people, what would be your message to the world?
Okay. Learn how to listen to people. It's not hard. Actually just listening, be nice to people and try and see where other people are coming from. Don't immediately try to problem solve. Just hear people out. It's not that hard. And it's something that, we all want to have done to us. We want people to listen to us, but we're not willing to listen to other people. Try that and see how well life improves. I promise it will. That's
beautiful. That is beautiful. Yes. I often say the same thing. Just keep an open mind, even there have been plenty of times in my life where I thought I was so right about something and so dead set that I knew the right way and I knew that this is how it had to be, and I've been proven wrong. And it is such a good idea to just keep an open mind, listen to people. That's the greatest gift that the universe has given anybody, is a set of ears, just to listen to other people, gain knowledge, get that information, and take somebody else's years of experience with your own experience. And I think those two things combined can definitely help find a better way. So absolutely. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Well, Jellybean, thank you again for being on the show, man. I had so much fun playing 7 Days to Die with you, and I appreciate you
fantastic
being on the show. This was a wonderful episode. It got deep at times. We shared some laughs. We shared some tears. We talked about the apocalypse.
Hey, and talked about it, played through it,
Yes, and I can't wait to share this with all of you viewers at home. Please remember, leave your comments. If you have any questions for myself or Jellybean, leave those comments down below. And we will see you next week on Wonder Bathos.